The rivalry between Paarl and Stellenbosch continues on this Saturday morning at Paarl Gimnasium High School. This time though, it's the girls that take to the field. We start the day off with the under 14A girls. It's the host Paarl Gymnasium. They welcome Bloemhof for what is sure to be a day and a morning of fabulous hockey and just general fabulous sporting occasion. Yesterday the conditions, there was clouds above, there was a bit of rain, but this morning it's absolutely spectacular here in Paarl. The sun is peeking its head over the Drakensberg Mountains as we start looking at what the teams are going to look like and how they're going to shape up for this game. It's a special occasion then for these girls. Every single one of them are making their debuts. It's the first time that these girls will be representing their schools and the first time they'll be playing in a derby like this. So, Tian, from the Paarl Gym side, I'm pretty sure for these young ladies as they take to the field the very first time, and special occasion as well because they're playing their first official game at the home Astro.
Yeah, Tariq, thank you for introing us into this derby game. So first game of the year for these girls, first game for a few years. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple of butterflies in the stomach. And obviously it's two enormous schools in the Boland region, and not just in the Boland, in the entire country. So I'm sure there's a lot of people tuning in for this first encounter, which should be a good game. Two very good hockey schools in South Africa, and this is the new talents coming through. So really looking forward to a pulsating game between Bloemhof in maroon and Paarl Gymnasium playing in white.
Yeah, and it's Bloemhof that gets the game underway. It's fantastic to see that these young girls are back at it again. I'm pretty sure that they would have been itching to start the game and to start playing once again, especially when you consider what has transpired in this past year. And Paarl Gym immediately trying to assert themselves on Bloemhof inside their circle, but somehow Bloemhof does get the ball away. And Tian, in the build-up to the season, a few pre-season matches has happened, and what has certainly impressed me is this under 14 side from Paarl Gym. Now they've played 3 games, and even more impressively, in those 3 games they scored 17 goals. That is phenomenal for just 3 matches. So they definitely have the attacking power. They definitely know how to get the ball into the back of the net. But what is even more impressive is the fact that they have not conceded a single goal.
Yes, Tariq, I think it's a very talented team. Goal on the ball, Unai de Winnaar here. Very talented, very pacey, very athletic. I think she's a SA hurdles athlete. So one to look forward to, and I think it's a well-balanced team. Skalk de Wet has here the coach for Paarl Gymnasium. I've seen these girls play from primary school up, and it's great to see the development, and really looking forward to see what I can do in high school hockey.
It's nice to see that these girls are all-rounders. They're not just hockey players. They participate in other sporting codes. And as you mentioned, the young lady is a hurdler. I wonder if we're going to see her on the ball, leaping over the defenders to get into the circle at some point. As Paarl Gym now into the circle. Got an opportunity at the top D. She has the shot. But Bloemhof scrambling in defense to try and get the ball away. The danger doesn't go anywhere though, as on this occasion, ball just trickles onto the foot of Paarl Gym, and it's been a solid start then from the home side. As Paarl Gym maintain the pressure on this Bloemhof defense. And it's probably easy to see why this Paarl Gymnasium side has scored 17 goals in just 3 matches. It's all-out attack from them, and patient on their build-up, and unfortunately they're taking an eye off the ball at a crucial stage as the ball runs loose towards the Paarl Gym 23, and it remains loose with Bloemhof applying the pressure. Good tackle then from Bloemhof as they try to make their way into the circle, and the pressure persists. Route 1 ball to the circle, but easily dealt with by Paarl Gym as the pressure remains now inside the Paarl Gym 23, and somewhat fortunately for them though, the ball lifts up in the air and the umpire deems that to be dangerous, so free hit then to Paarl Gym, and It's the first time we've actually seen them inside their own 23. They've been camping on the other side of the field.
Yes, the now low show on the ball for Paarl Gymnasium. See what they can do. Bloemhof really pressing very hard, trying to get inside the circle. And umpire Nina just giving a free just outside the circle. So good defense, just calming things down, getting numbers back behind the ball for Paarl Gymnasium. And now Bloemhof has a good opportunity to get the ball inside the circle and maybe win a short corner.
Yeah, it's the first chance we get to see Bloemhof on the attack, and unfortunately for them, though, a little bit of indecision. Sees Murray lose the ball. And the attack, as you can hear through our sound equipment on the side of the fields, the referee speaking to the players, letting them know, what they can and can't do. And that's nice to see it here, and it's nice to see an umpire, willing to speak to the players, especially at under 14 level, where they're still busy learning the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think a good umpire will quicken up the game for a team, or for a game between two teams, especially at a younger level where there might be still a bit of confusion regarding the rules and where the free hit needs to be taken, especially long courts and stuff like that. So great seeing experienced umpires here, helping the girls quicken up the game and making it more smooth.
So as we continue watching the action here at Paarl Gymnasium, just to let you know that this is the first game of the morning. It's under 14A girls from the home school, Paarl Gymnasium. They are up against Bloemhof. And it's a continuation from where we left off yesterday, where the Paarl Gymnasium under 16 boys, or at least all the Paarl Gymnasium hockey boys, took on Paul Roos. As Bloemhof now with the breakaway. It's one-on-one with the defender tracking back, and it's excellent work from the Paarl Gymnasium defense to scramble their way back and win that ball back.
Iselfrey showing incredible athleticism to track back to cut out that attack from Bloemhof, and Bloemhof has been on the counter attack twice so far in the first 10 minutes. Really showing that they've got a bit of pace and athleticism up front, trying to play beyond the back line of Paarl Gymnasium, and they've got to be wary of that. Here's Paarl Gymnasium on the attack. Karia the Ridder on the ball, trying to get the T-point entry on the right-hand baseline. Keeps the ball almost in field, just trickles out for 16, and Bloemhof has an opportunity to outlet from the back, and Paarl Gymnasium pressing really, really high, putting Bloemhof under a lot of pressure, high up the field.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic start to this under 14A girls inside the opening 11 minutes of this game. Chances have been few and far between. We've seen Paarl Gym, I beg your pardon, camping somewhat inside the Bloemhof 23, but the Bloemhof defense certainly held their own and ensured that Paarl Gym haven't come away with a goal just yet in this game. To their credit though, Bloemhof have looked to play the game on the counter-attack, and they've had their odd entry into the Paarl Gymnasium 23 and into their circle, but this Paarl Gym defense proving why they haven't conceded a goal in the preseason thus far.
Minka Buerta on the ball, trying to show good composure out at the back, and here's another opportunity for Bloemhof to get in behind the Paarl Gymnasium defense. Minka Buerta mops up, rolls it nice right wide to Unai Wiener, showing up pace on the right hand side. Unai Wiener very, very pacey, tries to get the ball inside the circle, just a bit skew, and rolls out for a 16. But it was a lot better from Paarl Gymnasium, breaking out from the deep side. And it almost seems like both teams are more happy to play on the counter-attack than keeping the ball for longer periods.
Yeah, fantastic to see Minka Buerta, who lost possession for her side, but had the presence of mind to work back and win back possession for her team and get themselves back ahead and back on the front foot, as the action here at the Paarl Gymnasium Astro continues. With Paarl Gym now into the circle once again, and looks to link up with the player on the far post, and pass just goes a little bit too wide. And just having a look at the bench, the Paarl Gym coach just pacing himself a little bit up and down and getting his hands on his head, He knows the importance of these opportunities. We saw it yesterday in the Paarl Gimnasium Paul Roos first team game where circle entries weren't converted, weren't upgraded either to short corners or to shots on target, and that game ended in a exciting 0-0 draw. Let's hope for these girls that their nerves do settle in the next few minutes or so, and pretty sure the nerves will probably settle for either side once they get a clear-cut chance at the polls.
Yeah, exactly. I think Marlisa Berger had a good opportunity there to just get a shot on target, decided to be less selfish. And here's a breakaway opportunity for Bloemhof. So rolls out, tries to get it beyond the keeper. Great save by the keeper. Not opportunity on the top D. Good defense once more. But unfortunately, it's the foot of Paarl Gymnasium. And there's the first short corner for the game for Bloemhof. Once again, breaking away on the breakaway beyond the defense of Paarl Gymnasium. Time just been stopped by the umpire. I think there might be a little bit of an injury for his referee. Let's hope she's okay.
Yeah, we've seen this throughout the game thus far. Bloemhof happy to sit back and allow Paarl Gym to play with the ball a little bit, but when the opportunity does present itself to launch a counter attack, they do just that, and it's more often than not, they found themselves on a bit of a breakaway. With the defenders trailing, trying to tackle back. But we do see ourselves with just over 10 minutes remaining in this opening half with the first short corner of the game, and potentially against the run of play, it's gone the way of Bloemhof. So let's see what the young ladies have got up their sleeve. Early break from Paarl Gymnasium, and as the rule states, the defender who breaks early has got to take off the protective kit, make a way back to the halfway line, and leave 3 defenders then to assist the goalkeeper with defending the short corner. It's a good stop. Ball gets back in the circle. She has the dig, and the deflection is there. Against the run of play, Bloemhof takes the lead at the halfway stage, or just past the halfway stage of this, the opening half of the under-14A game.
Yes, Tariq, a great hit from the top of the D, takes deflection, and the ball goes beyond the backboard, which is still legal. Bit of a skewed push out, ball inside the circle, hits, deflects off the second runner over the keeper's left hand, and Bloemhof takes the lead early on in this game against the run of play, but they have looked dangerous on the counter attack, and they've made their opportunity count early in this game, and now all the work needs to be done by Paarl Gymnasium.
Yeah, Paarl Gymnasium has certainly made most of the attacking plays in the opening half, but find themselves trailing 1-0 from that fantastic short corner. A little bit of luck went their way though, in terms of Bloemhof finding the deflection off the defender's stick, but that just shows you that if you get your shots away, you get your shots on target, anything can happen. There could be a ricochet off a defender's stick, the ball could bobble off the keeper's pads, and when you're in the circle, it's pretty dangerous. Be that as it may, the action continues here at the Paarl Gymnasium AstroTurf, as Bloemhof try to work themselves out of trouble at the back, and nice and calm from Petra at the back for Bloemhof, getting a team out of the danger zone and maintaining position. Tian, we obviously know that few minutes immediately after either conceding or scoring a goal, that's the crucial time where your alert levels have got to be increased somewhat. You've just got to pay a little bit more attention, because it's crucial that you either don't concede and find yourselves level once again, or converse to that, you find yourself conceding again and you fall away 2 goals behind.
Exactly. I think you're 100% right. I think it's all a mental game in the beginning. Great run through the midfield by Bloemhof. Tries to roll it out to the left-hand side. Ball just a bit slower on the turf. Almost keeps it in. Unfortunately can't. Tariq, just on conceding the goal, if you celebrate the goal too long after you've scored it and lose concentration, you might just concede straight away, or on the other side, if you just concede it and drop your heads, you don't want to concede that second goal straight away and make it easy for Bloemhof. The center link of Bloemhof really controlling, Lisa really controlling the game so far for Bloemhof, taking control of the game after scoring, and that's very, very important. I think the coach of Bloemhof will be very happy with this. Zanay Fleming, nice cut inside. Now can she connect with players around her? She's got clear space to run into the center circle. Huge opportunity. Sine Fleming throws to far post. Loose ball. Great defending from Bloemhof.
An excellent opportunity for Paarl Gim. A neat little run there on the right-hand side for them. Space aplenty, and unselfishly tries to get a teammate to put the ball into the back of the net, and a chance goes begging for Paarl Gim, but certainly the signs are there that they are here to play after conceding their first goal in 4 matches, which is in itself is an incredible record. But this action continues to be fever pitch with about 6.5 minutes to go in the opening half of this game. Sure, the Paarl Gim coach will at least he'll start to bark the instructions from the sideline to these girls, just to get them to raise the game a little bit. Sometimes you will find that, especially at the lower levels, that when you do concede, the girls takes that a little bit too personally, and does affect them and their mindset. But what has been nice to see from the Paarl Gim girls is that they are continuing to want to attack this Bloemhof defense and try and get themselves back into this game. Look, 1-0 is certainly not a massive deficit to come back from, and you see now Paarl Gim trying to change the mode of attack. They've been going balls to the wall on the right hand side, and the maroon shirts of the Bloemhof girls have been standing firm and not giving anything away. So they did, or at least Paarl Gim tried to go down the left, as we see them back down the right hand side. Shot comes in across the face of goal. The ball is loose. It's a bit of a scramble, and Bloemhof once again gets themselves out of trouble. But that trouble is back again as Paarl Gim now down the left hand side. Ball comes across. Once again, it's loose. Ricochets off the defender's stick, and mad scramble. Somehow it seems, Tian, that on defense, the Bloemhof girls, they just want it a little bit more inside that circle.
Yeah, it's a fight for position inside the circle. Paarl Gymnasium really getting their 2 talent players, Minka Botha and Unai de Winnaar, more on the ball, and that obviously creates a lot more problems for Bloemhof. Here is Minka Botha on the ball, trying to show good skill. Wins a long corner. Probably easier to get the ball inside the circle from a long corner than it is in that right-hand corner, where Bloemhof can get a lot of numbers around the ball, which they do very successfully.
Acres of space in the left-hand channel for Paarl Gim. See if they can identify that as they try to work their way towards the left. And once again, Bloemhof happy to sit back, get the press on the final defender, and launch this counter-attack as they find themselves entering through the right-hand side of the circle. The attempted cross doesn't go as planned as Paarl Gim try to get themselves out, but Bloemhof continuing to apply this pressure on the counter-attack.
Here's an area for Bloemhof to really press very high and maybe win the ball from Paarl Gymnasium. Great pass from Xenia out from the back, finding Unai de Winnaar, and she shows her pace once more to break through the midfield. Showing good composure on the ball. Can she pick out a player? She rolls in, takes a hit, unfortunately just hits fresh air. And there's another opportunity going backing for Paarl Gymnasium, but they're really showing good composure out the back, and that was a brilliant pass by Xenia for Paarl Gymnasium, and a great run from Unai de Winnaar.
Yeah, Unai de Winnaar is certainly a young lady you need to keep your eye out on. She's made a majestic run through the heart of the Bloemhof defense and worked away from her own 23-yard line all the way into the Bloemhof defenders, or at least the Bloemhof circle, and that's a danger sign for Bloemhof that if Unai is going to maintain possession more, that she is going to be extremely dangerous, and she can just get the final decision correct inside the circle. Do think that the alarm bells are going to start sounding for Bloemhof as we once again see them turn the ball over in defense and launch this counter attack. It's once again down the right hand side. Here they come as they enter the circle. They find the foot once again, and it's the second short corner goes the way of Bloemhof. Tian, this counter-attack of Bloemhof is absolutely sublime to watch.
Yes, they are, and they're finding space in behind Paarl Gimnasium. Paarl Gimnasium's defenders might be a bit ball watching as 2 minutes in this half trickles down. Here's a big opportunity for Bloemhof to make it 2-0, and that'll make a good cushion at half-time. I think you always talk about that 2-0 half-time lead, which is always a bit iffy. Can go either way, but I'll rather take a 2-0 lead than a 1-0 lead into half-time. And they have scored from their first penalty corner, and here's the second one. Can they convert this one as well?
Bush finds the stopper this time. It's looking for the ejector. Tries to work the ball back towards the P spot, but good defense this time from the Paarl Gym battery. They look to clear the danger, and once again it's still loose. Bloemhof remain in position. It's a wild swing as the umpire plays advantage. Fortunately, the ball just skewing off the tip of the head of the stick and rolls out. Fortunately for her, then on the sideline as the umpire lets Paarl Gym know that it's not a 16-yard, but it's a hit on the sideline, and it's a good position for Bloemhof to apply some pressure. Fortunately for Paarl Gym, the decision making there. She had more time than what she thought as we enter the final 40 seconds. Can we see Bloemhof get themselves into the circle one more time just to roll out this first half? The ball does certainly get into the circle, but no Bloemhof strike on the end of it. And the time ticks towards 20 seconds remaining in this first half. Relief for Paarl Gym, who will now enter or try and just see out the final few seconds and head into the halftime break, still trailing by a goal to nil. And as we say that, they lose the ball in a crucial area. Bloemhof then back in position just outside the 22, and it's excellent work on defense by Paarl Gym as the siren goes to signal the end of the first half. It's been a half that has been somewhat dominated by Paarl Gym. They've made more of the attacking plays. However, Bloemhof finds themselves a goal up, and it's their counter-attacking game plan that sees them head into the break with this 1-0 lead.
Yes, Tariq, I think it's been a very interesting first half. A few errors, but some exceptional play, and Bloemhof will be very happy with the first half lead. Paarl Gymnasium just needs to be a bit more ferocious inside that circle, take the opportunities. They've had plenty of circle entries. It's just what they do with the ball when they get there.
So that's it from Paarl Gymnasium's AstroTurf. It's the end of the first half between Paarl Gym under 14A girls and Bloemhof under 14A girls. It's the ladies in maroon from Stellenbosch that takes a 1-0 lead. Don't stray too far. We'll be back with the second half in just a bit. The beautiful Paarl region welcomes us back to the second half of the under 14A girls game. It's the homeschool Paarl Gimnasium up against Bloemhof, the side from Stellenbosch. And it's them, the visitors, who head into the second half with the 1-0 lead. Grabbing the goal at the roughly the midway point of the opening half through a short corner deflection, which has somewhat been against the run of play. If you're just joining us, it's been Paarl Gym that has been doing most of the attacking play, and Bloemhof happy to sit back and launch on the counter-attack, and it's basically what they've been feeding off for the entire first half. It has paid off for them. But with the second half going, Tian, from the coach's perspective for both sides, what do you think would happen? Would they change tactics a bit, or would they maintain the same thing that they did in the first half?
I think Bloemhof won't change too much. I think Paarl Gymnasium probably won't change too much either. I think it's just the awareness inside the circle for Paarl Gymnasium that needs to be better. Bloemhof might need to defend a little bit more narrow than they were in the first half, especially Unai de Winnaar from Paarl Gymnasium, the speedy forward, been running through the middle of the field, which they probably don't want to run. They'd rather want to run on the outside of them, where they can have a recovery runner, just cutting off those passing angles, those running angles. But otherwise, I think Bloemhof will be very happy with how the first half went.
So that we have seen Paarl Gymnasium in the first half somewhat camping a bit inside the Bloemhof half. It's been the back four of Bloemhof that has stood up at every wave of attack that has been launched at them from Paarl Gym. He's seen them maintain the 0. They have not conceded a goal. But I'm pretty sure as this game progresses, the game will open up a little bit. It's fantastic to see that schools sports is back, and that the young men and ladies get the chance to get active, be out there, participate in a sport with their friends, and live an active lifestyle. It's a fantastic day out here in Paarl at Paarl Gymnasium, who've been excellent hosts for us here at Super Sport Schools. They welcomed us with open arms yesterday for the boys' matches between Paarl Gymnasium and Paul Roos. They've done the same thing this morning for the turn of the girls. It's just fantastic to feel the vibe and the buzz out here at the school. It's girls hockey on both AstroTurfs. The boys are doing their thing on the rugby field right next door. The netball girls are doing their thing at the front of the school. Tian, it's just fantastic to see the hub of excitement and sport back at the school.
Yes, there's a vibe around here which everybody's feeding off. Obviously no spectators because of all the COVID protocols, but luckily we have Super Sport Schools live streaming this for everybody around the country to look at, and especially all the parents that can't be here, watch their children play some sport. But there's a real vibe going in on a beautiful winter's day in Paarl. It's a little bit chilly, but no wind to speak of. A lovely sunny day, so we're looking forward to proper hockey. And here's an opportunity for Paarl Gymnasium once again to break out from the back. Malisa Berger tries to get the ball inside the circle. Akaria de Ridder unfortunately can't receive the ball inside the circle, which has been a problem for Paarl Gymnasium. Once again, Bloemhof exits down the side of their D, and they try to get the ball up behind Paarl Gymnasium.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bubble on that pass. It's not easy to get the ball under control, especially on the sand-based AstroTurf. We know that yesterday, with a little bit of rain that fell, it moistened the turf a little bit. So the boys, I would say, probably had the better conditions on the Astro. And as it's been drying out, we do see, or we tend to see a little bit of bounciness in the ball. Not only because it's a sand-based, but also because the AstroTurf is fairly new. We do know that it does take some time for the AstroTurf to flatten itself out and quicken up as Bloemhof launches a shot. Good save by the keeper. The follow-up is there. And an excellent opportunity from Bloemhof. Pouncing on the rebound off the keeper's pads and turned in neatly as they find themselves now 2 goals to the good in this game.
I think that was Ineke, the left striker from Bloemhof, putting that one away. And once again, Bloemhof really taking the opportunity, being a lot more aware inside the circle. There's a rebound on the second phase, protects the ball beautifully and just sneaks it inside the near post. And Ineke, the striker from Bloemhof, putting them 2-0 up, and they've in the ascendancy in this game. And now everything to do for Paarl Gimnasium.
Yeah, fantastic to see that. And on the 14 level, the girls are filling the crucial areas. They're filling the far post, the near post, the P spot, and that just shows you what can happen. You get the shot off, it can rebound off the keeper stick, it can bounce off a defender. You've got to be there to take the opportunity as Paarl Gim now enter through the right hand side, and fortunately for them, the quickness of the ball and the pace on the ball just rolls away from the attacker, and a chance goes a begging. But like I was saying, Tian, it's nice to see the crucial areas being filled and the strikers being alert for those rebounds and pouncing on it, finding the space past the keeper's pads to get the ball into the back of the net.
Yes, and she did so well to just protect the ball from the defender where it was on her back and create a little bit of space to get the shot on target. Tariq, I think Paarl Gimnasium, once they win the ball, is making the game a little bit too narrow in midfield, so not getting a lot of space out wide to play around Bloemhof. Paarl Gimnasium really has a bit of pace and athleticism in their team, and they need to spread the ball out a bit to the sides just to use that pace. Otherwise, they're moving into congested areas where Bloemhof can really defend very narrow and easily. Great shot inside the circle. Here's a loose ball. Well defended by Izelferi, just mopping up at the back.
Yeah, good composure from Izel there. It could have easily have found its way to the awaiting Bloemhof attacker on the far side, but she had the presence of mind to remain calm and get the danger out. As Bloemhof continue to maintain possession, as this time ball comes in through the middle. It's once again loose, a snapshot. What a save from the keeper, extending that left arm. Mia van Rensburg getting a glove in the way, and this time ensuring that the side does not concede another quick goal.
Here's the replay of it. Good clearance. Good first time hit from the striker from Bloemhof, and a good save by Mia van Rensburg, goalkeeper for Paarl Gimnasium. Bloemhof has been exceptional inside the circle. Every loose ball almost they've picked up, gotten a shot away quickly without the defense of Paarl Gimnasium setting up, and that's so crucial in that area where it's very high octane, a lot of pressure, everything needs to happen quite quickly, and Bloemhof is doing really well in that areas.
I think that's probably just been the difference between the sides in this game, is that, you know, Bloemhof have certainly, like you say, they've handled themselves better inside the circle, whereas for Paarl Gim, fortunately for them, their composure inside the attacking circle, and that final decision making just not going their way. It's probably why Bloemhof finds themselves 2 goals to the good with around about 12 minutes remaining in this game. Rare mistake from the defense of Paarl Gim, and they remain under pressure. Bloemhof certainly riding this wave of momentum. They have been dominating possession since grabbing that second goal. It's quite opposite to what we saw in the first half, with Paarl Gim holding on to the position much longer than Bloemhof, and how things can change in the game of hockey. 1 goal to 2 goals to the world of good for the confidence levels, and we certainly see that in the opening half. Bloemhof weren't too confident throughout the half, but once they got that goal, the confidence levels certainly went up, and now since going 2 goals to the good have taken their game to another level.
I must say Bloemhof has shown a lot of composure since going 2-0 up, not giving Paarl Gimnasium any opportunities at all and just camping in Paarl Gimnasium's half. Here's a nice opportunity. Daniel Loubser showing composure at the back. This Paarl Gimnasium really not getting the ball under control in midfield, and here's an opportunity running through midfield.
How the tables have turned is now Paarl Gim will look to play the counter-attack game. There's plenty of space on the right-hand side. She does find the space off the wrong foot, has the shot. Agonizingly misses the target. But the signs are certainly there that Paarl Gimnasium, they're not going down without a fight.
There's about 10 minutes left. I feel if Paarl Gimnasium wants to get themselves back in this game, they need to get a goal within the next 3 or 4 minutes. That's awesome play from Bloemhof. Great open receive in midfield, looking to play forward, and here they go again. Running on the right hand flank. Nice squeeze skill there, so there by the forward, and now can she connect inside the circle? Good defending from Paarl Gimnasium, but still a loose ball picked up by Bloemhof once more in the circle, and they're showing incredible awareness and hunger inside the circle to just grab any rebounds, playing off the second phase, and that's why they're leading 2-0 so far in this game.
Fantastic to see the Bloemhof players backing themselves in the attacking third and in the red zone of Paarl Gimnasium. It's nice to see these little silky skills, the little squeeze over the top, which is something you rarely see these days. That little, just a little squeeze the ball into the turf, gets the ball to pop over the defender stick. Usually it's the yardsticks, they want to try and go around the players, or it's the little flip pass to a teammate. So nice to see that the strikers and the links, when they're getting inside the attacking third of the opposition, they are backing themselves and backing their own skill set. As Paarl Gim now once again on a breakaway through the middle of the Bloemhof defense. Gets to the top D, lets go of the shot, straight at the keeper, who makes an excellent save. The danger's not gone though, as Paarl Gim remain in possession inside the circle. Great work from Paarl Gim. Finds the foot of the Bloemhof defender, and for the first time in the game, with 8.5 minutes to go, we'll now get a chance to see the Paarl Gim attacking short corner team.
Tariq, Minka Botha in midfield, running into the left hand side, cutting infield, opening up space to the right hand channel, created the opportunity for them to get the ball inside the circle. Good save by Bloemhof's keeper, but unfortunately hits a foot, and here's a big opportunity with about 8 minutes left in this game for Paarl Gimnasium to get themselves back in this game. A bit of confusion on what to do on the short corner. See if they can figure this one out. Push out's a bit skew. Oh, and a lot of confusion on the short corner.
Counter attack then for Bloemhof once again. We've seen how effective it has been for them in the opening half of this game, as so wild pass to the front, tries to find the high hanging striker. Unfortunately, she didn't make the lead into that space, and Paarl Gim managed to get themselves out of trouble. And unfortunately though, just a skew pass, or at least a skew injection on the short corner, leads to a bit of confusion. But I'm sure that is something that'll be ironed out as we go along in the season.
Yeah, there was a bit of confusion before the short corner was taken, and you could see that when it just before it was taken, and then after it was taken again.
Massive space ahead now for Paarl Gim. Plenty of space behind the Bloemhof defenders, but the midfield of Bloemhof just closing the space down, and the first time we see a little indiscretion from either side, and it's Bloemhof who are down to 10 goals after not being 5 from that free hit. Paarl Gim taking it very quickly, the referee having none of it, ensuring then that the green card is shown. That's a 2-minute suspension for Bloemhof. We're now down to 10 goals on the field, with Paarl Gim turning things around and having the momentum there, going their way for a bit. Change of attacking line then for Paarl Gim, who tries to go through the middle, but once again this Bloemhof defense has been absolutely rock solid. They turn the ball over and launch another counter attack down the right hand side. They go. It's another circle entry through the right, but this time Paarl Gim's defense have arranged themselves well as they now look to attack themselves. And man, oh man, are we in for a fiery final 6 minutes of this game.
Here goes United Winnaar breaking through midfield once again, showing her pace, going on the outside, and here's a lot of danger for Bloemhof. United Winnaar unfortunately just doesn't back herself all the way, and now she goes again, shows a little spin skill. Great defending from, that's amazing defending from Bloemhof, just staying in the contest, cutting off the angles, forcing her out wide. That's exactly what I talked about in the beginning of the second half, which I want to do if United Winnaar, not let her run right through midfield. Here's a connection, Minka Botha and United Winnaar trying to win the ball. Malisa Burger gets the ball inside the circle. Loose ball once more being mopped up by Bloemhof. Showing exceptional composure, moving out through the sides. And that's a lot of intelligence shown by Bloemhof's defense, and they've been keeping Paarl Gimnasium really, really quiet whenever they've come close to the circle.
United Winnaar has certainly showed what she is capable of. She has been the attacking threat for Paarl Gimnasium in this game, and it's a young lady to certainly keep your eye out on, as well as that diminutive figure of Minka Botha, the young lady with the black and orange stick, it looks like from where I am. Don't let the size fool you. She's got plenty of skill. As Paarl Gim try to get himself back. It is Botha. Shows that dogged attitude to continue going and continue fighting for the sides, as the ball is a bit of a mad scramble at the top of the D. With roughly about 4 minutes to go then in this, the under 14A game between the home side Paarl Gimnasium and the visitors Bloemhof. And it is those visitors Bloemhof that enter the final 4 minutes of this game with a fairly comfortable 2-0 lead. They've certainly had things go all their way in the opening bit of the second half. After absorbing much of the pressure in the first half, it was Paarl Gim on that occasion in the opening 25 minutes that made most of the plays, but back come Bloemhof with an attack of their own down the left channel, looking to penetrate the circle on the left hand side this time. But this Paarl Gimnasium defense has once again ensured that the attack doesn't come to anything, and Tian, I've certainly been impressed with this under 14A girls.
Very much so, and just looking at on the game in a whole, outside of the screen you guys are watching, Paarl Gimnasium is playing with a striker really hanging high. Yes, Isabella now on the ball, cuts infield, lovely cut infield, cuts outfield, showing great stick work, gets the ball inside the circle. Here's a loose ball for Paarl Gimnasium to pick up.
As we've seen time and time again, somehow, some way, this Bloemhof defense keeps their side in the game, keeps their naught, as they snuff out yet another attacking chance from Paarl Gim.
Once more, great defending from Bloemhof in their deep zones. Paarl Gimnasium just not showing enough composure inside and a bit of awareness, and a great defending, just hits it best foot there, and that gives Bloemhof an opportunity once again to play out from the back.
Yeah, one thing that has certainly impressed me with these under 14A girls is the fact that the last time they would have been playing competitive hockey would have been at under 11, under 12 level. So they've certainly missed out on a lot of development at the under 13 level, because that's key. It's the transition going from junior primary school hockey into high school hockey. So they missed out on that year, but you know, they've certainly come out in this first game of the season, and they've certainly shown that sometimes when you don't participate in something, that eagerness, that drive, and that willingness to play will come out when you do get an opportunity once again to showcase your talent. And it's been amazing to see that under 14 girls getting the opportunity to showcase their talent on a platform like Super Sports Schools. As we take over into the final 90 seconds of this game, it is the side in maroon, Bloemhof, the visitors, who hold a 2-0 lead over the home team, Paarl Gimnasium, in an absolutely exciting way to start the hockey action on the A Astro. As we see in the background, the first teams of Bloemhof and Paarl Gimnasium making their way to the Astro turf. They're going to be up next. But I definitely think that the tone has been set by these under 14A girls. So when this game does wrap up, it's one of those things where you certainly don't want to change the channel. Don't want to go do something else, because the action is not going to stop.
Here's an opportunity. Zane Fleming driving inside the circle. Can she upgrade to a short corner, get the ball on target? Still a loose ball. Here's United Vinod trying to receive ball. Short corner given with about 15 seconds left on the clock. And here's an opportunity just for Paarl Gimnasium to get a consolation goal at the end of this game. And obviously with time running out here.
So there we hear it. The final hooter has gone in this game. The result is definitely going to be going the way of Bloemhof. Though, as we do know, that if a short corner is conceded in the final seconds of the game, the short corner does get played out, and we'll see Paarl Gim bringing up all their defenders, all their players, to try and get themselves at least one goal in this game. It's a good push that comes out, finds the attacker who has the shot. Does take a ricochet off the foot of the Bloemhof defenders, and the game has not ended, ladies and gentlemen. It's Paarl Gim who remain on the attack with the short corner. This will most certainly be, if we do not concede another short corner, it will certainly be the final act of this game.
The few plans being made by Paarl Gimnasium. Maybe trying something different than they normally would. Push out goes to Zalfari.
So we do see the variation. Keeper gets herself forward and cuts down the angle to maintain the 0, and we hear the final whistle being blown, and Bloemhof girls are absolutely ecstatic. They're hugging and embracing each other. It's high fives all around, and it would most certainly seem that this was a result that they themselves did not expect. A fantastic game of hockey comes to an end here at Paarl Gimnasium's A Astro turf, where the visitors, Bloemhof's under 14A girls, walks away with a fairly comfortable 2-0 victory over the home side, Paarl Gimnasium. Tian, what a fantastic start we've had to the hockey action here at Paarl Gimnasium.
Yes, it was a good under 14 game. Everybody making their debuts. And I think Bloemhof will be very, very happy in this derby game. Obviously very feisty always for the two teams from the Boerland playing against one another. But we're really, really looking forward to the first team game coming up in a few minutes' time, which should be high octane, good hockey. Both teams very athletic, very quick, and probably one of the top 10 two top 10 teams in the country. Tariq, you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, do not change the channel, do not go anywhere. The hockey action here at Paarl Gimnasium continues. So we take a short break, but when we do come back, it's time for the first teams to take the field. It's Paarl Gimnasium against Bloemhof. We'll be back shortly.